saying goodbye to this site. I hung between that tree there. Got my breakfast made. Have that a little bit down the road. My coffee. I still gotta put my river shoes on and get out of my Crocs. And head back that way to the river. Had to come up quite a ways for various reasons. But it was crazy how silent this area was. Other than the coyotes and the turkeys. But moving up towards Defiance, like 24 miles, I think, about 20 miles to the dam, which at the reservoir, I don't know how we're going to get around that yet. Rick doesn't know that yet. So, it is 7:42. 5 minutes later than yesterday's start. Water seems like it's got a decent flow to it today. Of course, we did have good flow coming around that bend at the end of the day yesterday because this chokes down. So whenever it narrows down, obviously it has to speed up. And there we go. Beautiful morning. Kingfisher clicking away as soon as I got in the water. Ah, isn't this pretty? That's the island I was thinking about staying at, but just wasn't good for trees. Could have made it work, but would have been pretty exposed too. Alright, day 3. I've got a feeling this river's going to be a tale of 3 days. The first one just absolutely gorgeous. The second one a mix of a lot of flat water and moving water, still pretty. This one, I think the majority, when this opens up into the reservoir, is going to be the least of it all, but still should be nice. Nice just to be on the water. Yeah, just like I thought. As soon as we got around the bends and it opened up again, the flow dropped. I would have liked to have been on this water about an hour earlier when the mist was still all on it. It's a beautiful time to be on the water. Upsetting some Canadian geese. Gotta share the river, boys. So that is the Blanchard River that comes in and joins up with this Auglaize. Looks like a big stone pillar. Used to be a bridge up there.
Yeah.
You see it over on the right?
Maybe a railroad bridge?
Yeah, maybe.
I think there's one on the left too.
What was that other river that came in on the side? The Ottawa River yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few that feed this.
Yeah.
Feed this Auglaize, which in turn feed the Montmagny. It's like 3 different attempts. Like, look at these sandstone pillars. They used to be a road or, you know, for a bridge, railroad or cars or whatever. Right here on the right, and there's one across on the left. Then you've got those 2 big sandstone pillars up there.
You think they had a road there?
I think they built this small one and it got washed out with the floods. And then I think they built the other one higher. And then on the 3rd attempt, they found something that would last the time that they needed it to. Yeah. Yeah, there's a tree on top of that one. I didn't even realize that. So the water must have got up there, or it could have fallen over from the woods. But the likelihood of it landing there doesn't seem too too high. Nice corridor. Dude, we're not even gonna hit another bend for a mile. I could see a mile ahead. That's pretty cool. Just a pile of debris, a maple leaf helicopter. Just happened to land there. That's gonna be an interesting tree in 20 years if it survives. Surprised it's still there. Ah, there's a big log embedded in the river right behind it. That's cool. You know what? I wonder if that isn't. I wonder if it's actually the tree that went down. And it said, "I shall find a way to live."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there was nobody here, but and it's not listed on Google Maps. But I'm thinking that's why there was markers on the trees as we were coming down here. First one I saw was 6. Then it went 5, 4, 3, 2. And I wonder if this is the end point. I have to check it out. But they got a portage on there. They got running water. Plenty of rafts. I don't know if they do any camping. There's a house way up there. Nice little pavilion with a fire pit. I'm gonna have to check that out. Real gradual twists and turns through here. Still little flow, if any, to the water. Oh, Mr. Bald Eagle showed up. Landed right over in that tree. Rick, eagle ahead on left. There he goes again. So, dude, it's no coincidence. When's the last time you heard a kingfisher? Exactly.
There's eagles.
Exactly. That's so weird. I gotta get to the bottom of that. Figure out why that is. Puzzles me. Probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7 miles in. So this guy just put a bunch of concrete down at water's edge. Stop the erosion, probably. But then, looks like he's got a little launch down here at the end of it. Got a little grill made out of a couple of old tire rims. Lasts forever. Yeah. A little launch, put a boat down in the water. Pretty cool. Got a pump there, taking water out of the river. Probably to water some fields. That size pump though, itty bitty, maybe water a garden. Has that wide open feel again like the Tuscarora or the Muskegon. Except the nice thing about this is there's not houses on every square foot of bank. Sometimes I felt like I was paddling through a fishbowl when I did that. Everybody just sitting on their porches watching it roll by. No ducks down here either. Probably the steepness of the banks, wideness of the area. Not ideal habitat for when you gotta try to stay away from everything that's trying to eat you. Oh, that's a falcon. I saw a shadow in the water and I looked up and there's a falcon coming across. Now, it could have been a hawk also, because I know that hawks have, there's some of them that have long, narrow tails. It doesn't fan out like the rest of the red tails and the other hawks do. But it was smaller. Looked like the one that I see around the house. So we've got still miles for, I think we're 7 miles in, so another 12 or 13 miles before we get to the Defiance Reservoir Dam, which is creating all the still water. And I did tell Ricky that I have no idea how we're going to get around it. So at least he knows going into it. We'll figure it out when we get there. So just past Masonville campground, getting into boaters territory now, passing a lot of pontoon boats on the docks and stuff. I think it was Masonville campground, he said. But that dam, the reservoir dam, is probably, I don't know, 13, 14 miles ahead, so it's holding back definitely a lot of water. So I think we have seen the end of our flowing water till we get on the other side of the dam. Sun's starting to warm up. Still nice surroundings. A little bit of wildlife here and there. Saw some swallows skimming the water back a ways. Just magnificent birds. People wish they could make a plane that could move like a swallow. Fortunately, no one's come tearing down the river in a pontoon yet. Inconsiderate, making a wake right next to us. Most of them will slow down a little bit though, unless they're jet skiing or, you know, pulling somebody behind on skis. So that spot last night, we ended up stopping, I don't know, around 32 miles or so from where we stopped the previous night. And where I wanted to spend the night, there were no trespassing signs all along the bank. So it must mean that some people were inconsiderate enough to go up there and build fires and leave their trash and beer cans and stuff. They don't want any more of it. So we went further and further down. Finally found a bend in the river that was just piled up with a bunch of debris, dead trees and driftwood and stuff. Went around that bend and took up into the woods. Horribly steep angle. I actually pulled Rick's kayak up the hill after mine, but there was a log to get out on right there, so I was able to scamper up, pull the kayaks up, and we went back deep into the woods. And the coyotes, there's a lone coyote that was sounding off, making all the dogs bark in the neighborhood. And the turkeys in the morning were just going off. I don't know if they were just upset that we were there or what the deal was, but making all kinds of ruckus. The deer in the middle of the night, as usual, puffing their exhalations that they don't like our hammocks being in the woods. But the previous night, the first night, the coyotes, oh my gosh, I don't know. There had to be a pack of 8 or 10 of them or more just going off, and they were close too. I was glad to hear their barking and everything moving farther away, just so I didn't have to worry about them coming up in the camp, getting nosy and curious. Single coyote won't have anything to do with you, but you get a pack of 10 to 12, you never know. Must be another little campground right here on the banks. All kinds of RVs, pontoon boats. I think it's going to be a pretty common sight till we hit that reservoir, maybe even on the other side.